Are we good to go?
Yes.
All right. All right, we're gonna start at 3.0. We did the Pledge of Allegiance and we had some technical difficulties, so we're starting at 3.0 with roll call school board members. Everyone here is here except for Brandon Baseplug. Known absent, so we can just keep going because we have a quorum. We'll move into 4.0 communication and reports, and we're actually gonna start with 4.3 administration and department head reports because we have some people that need to talk and leave, so. Jennifer Modine, MTSS SEL.
Did you all have an opportunity to review the slideshow?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I just wanted to just quickly go through one more time just to make sure everybody is familiar with the rollout of Prosity and what this is going to kind of look like in terms of what it's going to look like at the school level for us here in East Grand Forks. How this came to be was really the mental health staff and the school staff have identified that we have a lot of unmet needs in the district. And I have some former experience with Prosity and have utilized the platform, had really good experience with it. And so how this will look is there will be a need that will be identified. There'll be one person in each building that will be responsible for how that goes to the platform. When that happens, the administrator will be notified and brought into that decision-making about what goes to the platform. So there's going to be some real good checks and balances about what need will go out to the public, if you will. So it's kind of like a 3-step vetting process. Then it goes to Prosity, and then they write a little vignette, a story, if you will, sort of no identifying information. And then that goes to the public. So when the public engages with the platform, they'll just engage with the East Grand Forks Public School platform. There's many schools that are available, but they'll have a direct link to just what our needs are. And in order for this to really launch effectively, we want to get about 400 users connected to the platform. Okay, so when you think about talking to your friends and family and community members, when you engage with the platform, and I have a link ready to go out for you for tomorrow to share with family and friends, that is not that you're saying that you're going to meet every need that comes across your email or on the app. It just means simply that you're engaging. You're connected with the East Grand Forks Public Schools, and then when the need comes across, then you have the decision making to decide, okay, yeah, I'm going to buy a pack of white sweat socks for a kid, that kind of thing. You can always deny that need, but it gives you an opportunity then to meet that need. When you meet that need, it's simply a click. It goes directly to Amazon. That item is purchased, and then it gets shipped right to us at school. So there's no running around. It's really an efficient way to meet kids' needs. It works really well. We'll control how many needs will go up. But the main thing is we need a lot of people engaging with the platform, because I really want to work outside of the teachers who are already, and even the parents per se, who are already giving a lot. I really want to reach the larger community. So we'll do a push out to some of our community members, clubs, things like that. I want to get connected with some of the Greek sorority and fraternities. Oftentimes they have service hours and projects they have to do. This is the easy way to do that. So if you have questions, I would love to take those now, or if you have concerns or anything like that about launching this. We have vetted this with our staff. The only staff that didn't have the full presentation was New Heights, but it was just a timing issue. But Chad and Melissa, their staff, understand what it is and are in full support of it. Of course, the administrators are in full support of it as well, along with Mr. Hackbarth.
I guess I do have a question, I guess.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
What do you project, how much funds you would need for a year?
It's not a.
I know it's like gonna go up and down and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's not a collection of funds per se. So let's say we engage with a young person who doesn't have winter boots, okay? And let's just say we've utilized all our community resources. We've contacted Salvation Army, United Way, nobody's got any boots. we would put those boots up on the platform for purchase. So we would say, we have a 9-year-old boy, he doesn't have any boots. That need would go up, the community would get a notification once a week. And it would say, do you want to buy a pair of boots for Johnny at $29.95? And then the user, the community member would click yes. And it gets shipped to my desk. That's all it is. So it's not an exchange of money or anything like
Right,
that.
yeah, yes, I know it's not an exchange of money.
Yeah.
Per se, but like, what is there a projection of like, this is the X amount of things we're gonna need with
Oh,
you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if like, if there's fundraising or something else that can help you along with
Okay, I
this.
appreciate that.
That's
Yeah,
kind of where I'm
No,
looking
no,
at.
thank you. I appreciate that. It's been really interesting over the last couple of years, the things that have come across my desk with needs. We don't have any way to really meet those needs outside of our community resources, and those aren't always available. So if there's a need that's vetted by our mental health team, so we really trust those people to if a kid needs a container of let's say underwear or something, if someone's coming with that, they'll often contact me and say, yeah, you know, Sherry needs a pack of underwear, she doesn't have any, blah, blah, blah. I personally, working for us, have no way to meet that need. There's no fund for me to go to. There's nothing there. So then I'm a lot of times running around trying to utilize community donations, or if there's a parent out there that gives me access to a way to get those, or maybe they go out and buy them, it just becomes very, very messy and very time consuming. And the longer I've been in the district, the more things have come across my desk. Like, and one of the things, like the senior high, I would like to get away from this. They do a fundraiser every year within their staff to give items like this to their high school kids. So your staff are spending money, giving kids gift cards, things like that. They do a fundraiser. I'd rather have it go out into the larger community. The other thing that's really a positive for the district overall is a lot of times people just don't know what our needs are. They're not working, they're not rubbing up close to the needs, and when they start to know what the needs are, they fulfill them very easily. It's just, how do we reach the public in terms of those kinds of things? So it really serves that purpose. We're not going to flood this site with a lot of things. We're going to be very careful because we want to make sure the needs get met. So like when we first launch it, if we can get 400 users connected, okay? And that could be your aunt and uncle in California. It could be anybody who wants to connect with us, right? We're gonna put like 4 or 5 needs up there just to see how it goes. And just kind of play it by there. But we do have control over what goes up, how many things go up, and we just have to see how it goes with our community here in East Grand Forks.
What? Excuse me.
Ballpark, like last year, how much money they made Josh?
Yeah.
Or how many came across your desk?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of where I was.
Did you have access to grants for like $1,000
There are a lot of things in crisis around food insecurity. Now, at 5 o'clock at night, when a family doesn't have food, you can't really send them to the food pantry. There's a lot of that. I won't name names, but some of our principals buy groceries for people out of their own pocket and deliver them to people. That's happened. The basic needs, there's a lot of those. So I would have no way to really ballpark it. I wouldn't say more than maybe $3,000 if there was a fund available.
Yep, and that's kind of all I was really looking for, I guess.
so do we have to pay for the Prosity app or
No,
services?
there's
It's not
no-
free.
Yep, 100%,
So essentially it will cost the district nothing, but it'll help the students
100%.
with socks, boots, winter items,
Yep.
et cetera.
Yep,
It's just
anything.
pretty much spreading the word.
Yeah, it's really getting people to engage in the platform. So even if someone doesn't have, I really want to move away from parents, I want to move into the larger community. To really say, hey, we've got some needs in East Grand Forks. There's not a lot of them, but if you're interested, once a week, you'll get an email or you'll get a little pop-up on your app, want to meet a need today, and you can simply say yes or no. You can delete it, you can whatever, and then you can meet that need.
So another question. So like you said, like in that platform, there's going to be like, say, hey, do you want to buy a pair of boots? What if you have a pair of boots that's sitting at home that's not being used?
Yeah, that's what I've done the last couple of years. We had,
Is that okay?
Right? Yes, it's okay. I'm always gonna want to meet those needs. One of the challenges becomes the storage issue too.
Yeah.
And then with all due respect, sometimes the items that get brought to me aren't always things that are maybe the best to put on kids. And I'm not saying it can't be gently used, and then sometimes things come in that are not things that, what are we gonna do with 5 sweatshirts that have holes in them, things like that. You know what I mean? So this is a way to like kind of navigate that, but will we always take like used boots and gloves and things like that that are in good condition? Absolutely, and that's what we're doing right now. So I fully appreciate that.
When a need is posted and
Yes.
maybe a family or an individual can't fully meet that need, you know, if it's $100, for
Yeah.
instance, and maybe they only have the opportunity to give 20 at that time, can you partially meet it? You know, if it's like a.
No,
group
it
of
would
5,
be,
you have
I
to
don't think
fully
any
meet
of the items would be that high. Although we did go a little bit higher in Grand Forks once people started meeting the needs, like we would do mattresses, like air mattresses for families. That got into a little bit higher range. But it's really roughly between $15 and $50 is typically what'll go up on there. It's pretty reasonably priced. And remember, even if you engage with the platform, right, you get connected to Prosity or connect to East Grand Forks Public Schools, it doesn't mean you have to buy anything. Like one example is I had a girl that was in art therapy. She had pretty significant sexual abuse history. And I put up just a pretty low rent, like art kit. She was an elementary kid, brand new art kit off Amazon is like $22. It was at my desk within 48 hours. You know, stuff like that, where you might not think that's a necessity, but for me as a mental health person, for a kid who's having some benefit in that with art therapy, it was. And I thought, why not put it on the platform and see if a community member will buy it? And they're actually thrilled about buying the stuff, actually.
So you
So
do have
the
to fully
families-
buy it. You can't partially.
Right, you
Contribute?
can't, no.
Okay.
No,
What frequency?
but if you want to give me a slush fund, you can do that. I'm happy to do that for the things that we couldn't put on Prosity. I'm always looking for ways to meet kids' needs. What was the other question?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, are the families that you're giving these to, are they fully aware of what's
Yes,
going
100,
on?
yeah.
Okay.
So I appreciate that because a lot of times, we want to be very mindful of our families, what their needs are. Our families that are in high needs have a great amount of humility and pride. And so anytime we're doing these kinds of things, we're always talking to the family first. And of course, we're trying to meet that need without, placing the platform, which is apparently what we've done since the beginning of time here, But it's just another tool in our toolbox, really, is what it comes down to. And it doesn't hurt anybody. It's really good for schools. It's good for the community, and it's really good for kids. It really is. And it's very efficient for us on the school side too. And then we do a nice little thank you too, that goes back to the user that bought the item.
I think it helps the community understand what the school district is facing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question. How often, you kind of talked about how often things will get put out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the frequency once a week? Is that what you said? Or is
Well,
that depending on the
usually
need?
in the past when I've used it, now I've been off the site for a while. But when I would get it, when I would be a user on there, I would get a notification about once a week if
Okay.
things were up on there, but we'll control that. So let's say we put 5 needs up. Once we get the users, you got to get the users before we place the need, right? Because you don't want to put things up there and then people are like, what is it?
Right.
I don't get what this is. What are they doing? So once people are engaged with the platform, they understand it, then the needs will go up and then we'll control how often we do that. So we're not going to bombard people with emails every other day. It doesn't work like that. Like we want to be really slowly paced. Let's put a couple things up. Let's see how this goes. But we manage all of that. And so we can control how quickly or how many items.
Okay. And then and you said getting the families involved to ask for these needs or ask for these things that they need. Is that coming from the students as well?
Yeah, so they come to us. So we're
Okay.
not gonna go out soliciting and say, we've got this thing and it doesn't look like that. It's much more,
Discreet.
it's much more discreet. It's very private. When these needs come to us, families are hurting. It's a very vulnerable time for them. And then what I say to folks, and to the mental health team, so speaking for them, is we'll do everything we can to help you. let us do some work, see what we can do, kind of scramble around. I mean, I remember, well, sorry with that story, but anyway, so that's how it'll look. And we're really careful about respecting our families in need too.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
didn't know if
No,
you-
no, no, it's a great question. It's a great
The
question.
people who are going, the one person from each building, is it
Yes.
gonna, how much is it gonna add to their workload? Like, is it gonna burn them out? Like, is it gonna be, are they pretty much already doing it? Just.
Yeah, I think so. I think well, I appreciate the question because it's capacity, right?
Mhm.
So when Kendra Hatcher, who's a social worker at Central Middle School, started talking to me about, we got to do something, we got to figure something out. Then I vetted that with the mental health team during our PLC, and I said, okay, there's this thing, right? But this is going to mean something for us. We're going to need a rep from each building. You're gonna need to do a staff meeting. You're gonna need to explain this. Are you willing or do you want to do this? Is this something? And they were 100% on board. So is it work? Yes, but it's so much more efficient than people calling me at all hours of the day and weekend. Like I had a girl reach out to me because she was unaccompanied. She had been kicked out of her house. The police were involved, and she needed feminine hygiene products. And she said, "I have nothing." So I went to Walmart and just bought them for her. This way, I mean, we could get her through maybe, or have a little stock of a few things at the high school where I could run in here and get something on a Saturday. It's real basic needs. This isn't Xboxes or anything like that.
I just want to thank, Jan and Kendra for bringing this forward.
Yeah.
With any, idea that gets brought forward, I mean, we did a really good job of just, like you say, just vetting the process so I can ask you
Right.
questions. We had a lot of questions. We had some
Mhm.
concerns. When they first proposed it to me, I had some questions as well.
Yep.
Because they've done a wonderful job of that. We checked with Grand Forks, who's had success using this platform. We wanted to roll it out slowly and carefully and also make sure the board was aware of those things because you're probably gonna get asked questions too. So,
Yep.
so I just really want to, I appreciate you bringing that forward. I think it's going to serve our community well. And
Yep.
again, I just want to remind people, we use, funding that we get for the school to supply a lot of things for our students, but there's certain things that we just can't, spend on items for kids. And so I think that's where our mental health support team, our social workers, our counselors, our teachers come forward and they see these things that maybe go unnoticed.
Yep.
And now we have a place to go ahead and take care of that and help these kids in a different way.
Yep, teachers are excited about it for sure.
Did the Grand Forks, did they have some neat ideas on how to roll it out and get more, I'm trying to think of like big gatherings of people and how we would.
Yeah, well, that's something I
out.
talked to Brian about because we need to be in the community. So I need all of you, but when speaking with Miss Hatcher, you need to be out. We need to talk to the Blue Line Club. We need to talk to the Lions Club. You need to get with groups of people that aren't normally accessing these things, and we need to she has to be able to leave work. And Jill's of course, a big supporter of that, to go if there's like a meeting during the day, and go and present these things to groups in the community. That's very, very important. When we did that in Grand Forks, that's how I think we had to have 500 or 600 users to launch it. And that's what we did. Our foundation in Grand Forks is a little bit different. It's a little bit more robust. So we ended up, they ended up moving away from Prosity because we were able to raise about $80,000 for our giving tree. So what the giving tree is in Grand Forks is they have two separate huge like warehouse storage areas where all the things you want that you get on Prosity are now physically there. And the social worker just goes and they does scans a QR code and you just grab the laundry detergent off the shelf. So that's why they moved away from Prosity because they were able to meet the needs internally. But that wasn't how it was when we started it. That created some awareness and then we were able to raise the $70,000. Now there's anything your heart desires are in those two giving tree places in Grand Forks. We don't have that.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it very
Jen.
much.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to go to Dara.
Daryl May?
Dara.
Okay. All right. My name is Dara Oming, and I'm the president of the American Indian Parent Committee. Every year, we receive quite a bit of funding from the American Indian Education Aid Program through the Minnesota Department of Education, specifically Indian education. In order to receive our funding, we have to have a very specific plan about what we're going to do with the funding and how we're going to make our goals and meet our goals using the different funds. Our plan for the 22-23 school year included cultural infusion into the classrooms, staff development, at least 3 cultural events, and mentorship of our high school students. We recently took a vote because we are required to look back on that year and decide, did we do what we intended? Did we use the funds appropriately? Did we meet the goals? We all voted that yes, we did meet all of our requirements. So now at this point, it needs to be brought to the board for a signature, because if we were not in agreement, then there would be steps that the board would have to help us with. But we're basically saying, we all said yes, it went great. Now we just need that signature. Then Erica can send it back to the Minnesota Department of Education, and that 22-23 school year is, we've done what we need for that year. We kind of have to look back instead of, it's kind of hard to look back and agree that we did it, but that closes that chapter. What's really neat about our group is that we're getting better at it and we're able to do more things. This year, we've already had presenters in our schools. We had a quilting event for families to make star quilts, and we've had several cultural events coming up. We have an in-school powwow in March and our graduation powwow that we've been doing for the last several years. So we've had a really, really busy year and it's really exciting. So yeah, we just need the signature to prove that we didn't have any issues, and that's that. And we can keep going.
Any questions for Dara?
No, I just saw that it was uploaded, so I haven't even had a chance to look at it.
I just want to thank you and the entire APAC committee. Obviously Erica, Denault,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody at the schools that's working together to try to do all the great things that we have in our plan. And I know it's not easy work.
No.
And
but it's-
I know you're saying that everything's going really well, but there's still some things that we can work on.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
So I'm excited for us to get that stuff figured out. I know we got some challenges ahead and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but
Mhm.
we'll get through them.
Yeah, we will. And we have a really amazing group of parents that are really passionate about it getting bigger and better for our kids and our students. So it really is a lot of work, but it's good work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We are going to move back up to 4.1 for the enrollment update.
Madam Chair, just real quickly, I know you all have the report in front of you, but our enrollment is down a little bit from where it was last month. And as you probably have guessed and know, that enrollment does go a little bit up and down throughout the course of the year. Families come and go, students come and go for a lot of reasons. This month though, we did go down a few. 16 total students from last month, and we had 10 at the senior high. And then the rest was kind of spread out between the other 3 buildings, but I did talk to some principals today and it sounds like, no real, shocking information here, but we've had some families move. We've had some students that were placed out of home, so those count against us. We've had a couple students go to online classes, and then we've had at least a student or 2 pursue a GED. So that's kind of the reasons why we've had the numbers go in the wrong direction a little bit. But the good news is that this time last year we're still about 75 or more students higher than we were.
Any questions on enrollment? No. 4.2 finance update. Carla.
Everybody.
Oh.
I guess we'll start with the budget to actual, looking at the general fund. Just wanted to make, well, about 3 points is that we're about 50% of the way through the school year. So if you look at the percent of the budget spent, most of them are kind of in that realm. So I'm kind of liking where we are, but first point I wanted to make was the federal funds, which is sitting at about 10% of what we normally receive about this time of year, but the kind of still waiting on our final budget to be approved for our ESSER funds, which was due on January 26th. So the state is still working through that right now. Hoping to hear about that soon. And then we'll be able to draw down on some of those funds to cover some of our ESSER people. So then my second point is under salaries and wages. That is not including the updated salaries for our most recent negotiation settlement. That'll be coming this next month and will be reflected in the amended budget. So those are the 2 points I wanted to make on that page. So if we look at the next page, which is the fund balances, the only point that I really had to make was we did make our bond payments this month. So we reached our 100% of budget spending on that fund. Otherwise, everybody's kind of in the realm of where we expected. Okay, so then just looking at the treasurer's report, no, only big note I need to make there is that we're still trending at a 1.1 million difference from last year. So we're still in that kind of spot. So any questions?
I know I ask all the time, but do we, now that we've had the food from the state,
Mm-hmm.
how are things going with that?
I haven't looked in the most recent month,
Mhm.
but I would say that our expenses are a little bit up in food service.
Okay.
I think that we're not far from meeting, but we
We're
are
still
not-
losing money.
a little
with
bit,
the
yeah.
state pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna look at our expenses and make sure we're meeting our requirements there.
Okay.
So,
We'll look at staffing, do district-wide.
yep.
We'll just
Yeah.
make sure that we're being efficient.
Mhm.
And we'll look at everything, but I think, we're getting a better idea of kind of how we're gonna pan out with the funding that we're getting from the state for the meals at least.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested in how much
And
it'll actually cost each district, from what they'll pay.
yeah. So I'm curious too, but it's gonna take some time to
Yeah.
wash out. So, yeah. That's all I had.
Thank you. Any questions for Carla?
Carla?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. We'll go back to 4.3 to the superintendent and then right into committee reports.
Sounds good. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just real quickly, continue to kind of work through the READ Act mandates that we've been given. I'll try to keep the board, updated on all of those things. We're supposed to be able to get more information this week on some opportunities that we may be able to want to jump in on. So we'll take a look at that. I have had conversations with Jason and with Cody, so technology and transportation about possibility of coming up with a 5-year plan. So we're working on that. Both entities are working on that. They'll be helpful. We have our first district leadership team meeting is going to be on February 27th. And so our tentative agenda for that's going to be curriculum cycle, PLC discussion, and school grants. So that's will be the 3 things that we'll be talking about in our inaugural meeting for that. Just want to remind folks, we have parent-teacher conferences at the elementary school this week. So parents, if you haven't gone out there and seen your teachers or staff, please do that in the next couple days. We also have an early release day on the 14th for everybody. And no school for elementary students on that day too as well. And then no school for students February 15th, 16th, and 19th. So we have a little break here for the President's Day holiday. And so just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. February is also Minnesota School Board Member Recognition Month. And so we made up some certificates for our board members, and we really appreciate all you do, your vision and all your hard work and questions you ask, and really means a lot to our school and our community. And so appreciate everything you do, and you are appreciated and recognized tonight. So thank you. Committee reports real quick. We had MSCA meeting, and we have an agreement on with them. So that'll be on the board agenda tonight for approving. Bus drivers, same thing there. We have an agreement on their MOU for ESST language. So we'll also go ahead and approve that tonight, hopefully. Principals group, we met again this morning. We'll be meeting again with them soon, hopefully to get things wrapped up there. Let's see here. Now that we have the framework for the ESST language, we'll be able to get that language in the rest of our contracts here at East Grand Forks. And so we're excited to get that language put into everybody else's contract. We had a calendar meeting last Friday. I thought that went very well. We went ahead rather, and we finalized the calendar revision for 23-24. We'll be talking about that in a little bit on the agenda. We also got head start on looking at next year's calendar, and I thought we made some pretty good progress on that as well. So I'm hopeful we can wrap that up in another meeting or two, and we'll be bringing that to the board for approving for next year. Activities committee tomorrow morning, 7:15. Finance committee is gonna be a week from Wednesday, February 21st. So that's coming up quick, and Carla and I are working on a presentation for that, and should be an important conversation for us. And then also transportation committee is on February 28th to end the month. And so I know Cody wants to get in front of the committee and talk a little bit about some recommendations that he's got and show some progress that he's made as our transportation director. And that's what I had, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Thank you, Brian. Okay, 5.0, the consent agenda. Do we want anything pulled from the consent agenda? Okay, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. 5.3 miscellaneous payments. Is that on the consent?
That's on the consent.
That's on
Yeah,
consent.
sorry. All right, never mind, strike that. 6.0 opportunities for citizens to speak on items not on the agenda.
Done here.
Great, then we'll move on to approving the agenda. Do we have?
I'll move.
I'll second.
I'd like to add something. I don't know
Wanna
when
add
to add that. I would like to add a discussion on vape detectors in the bathrooms as like a trial. I know last year was talked about that vaping was pretty bad in the middle school and they seem to have a lot of education at the beginning of this year. So yeah. Don't know how to add that. No, never added.
I'll make a motion, to add a discussion on vaping detectors.
Where do you want to put that, Madam Chair?
8.7.
Yep.
I need to amend my motion.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
talk about it then.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk
Okay,
about
just adding it.
discussion.
Okay.
Yep, just a discussion on vaping detectors. Sorry, Eric, what'd you say?
Do I need to amend my motion?
Yeah, we'll have to amend the motion to.
I'll amend my motion to add discussion on vaping detectors as item 8.7.
A second.
Sure. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Opposed, motion carries. Okay. 8.0 district business. One, we're gonna approve the adjustments to the 2022 to 2024 paraprofessional contract.
And that was the stuff that was discussed during negotiations, right? That was gonna be come back to after the teachers, right? Am I correct?
Should make a motion.
Yeah, we'll make a motion,
make
then
a
we'll
motion
second,
first,
and then we'll
okay.
discuss. Motion to approve the statute language updates and the paraprofessional contract.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions or discussion?
Okay, yeah, so now hopefully I can say it without fumbling on my words. When the paras negotiated last time, they wanted their raises to be in accordance with the teachers, more or less. Is that what this is?
No,
No,
No?
we negotiated in there that if the state were to give us
Okay.
above a certain percentage, that they could reopen for
Okay.
wages only.
All right.
And that's what
it was.
this represents.
Okay. I couldn't remember exactly which one.
then we added sick and safety leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 8.2, approve the memorandum of understanding to the bus driver master contract. I'll take a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion?
I have one question. It says for 1 month of service. Do we have anywhere? When I was reading it, I read 30 days. So are we using 30 days as a month? Or, cause each month not all months are the same.
You talking about subdivision 1?
Yep.
That's under sick leave. So the ESST is the 1 hour.
For every
For
30
30.
days, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what hour?
30 hours,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So I wasn't sure. Okay.
So two different
Okay.
things there.
Okay. I see what all right. Just needed clarification. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8.3, approve adjustments to the 2023-2024 master calendar as presented and attached.
I will make a motion to approve the change to the 2023-2024 calendar. I think that the only change was that 30th of May. And we discussed it at length in the calendar committee. I'd like to make a motion to accept the changes.
Any second?
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? So it's the 30th of May.
Yes,
Happening
the
on
last
Friday.
day of school for students is now the 29th of May,
Correct.
and we have a staff development day on the 30th.
Perfect. Just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. All those in favor say
Aye.
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 all those opposed? Okay, motion carries. 8.4, approving the update to the 2023-2024 teacher seniority lists as presented and attached.
I'll move to approve.
I will second.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. 8.5, authorizing the administration to conduct a request for proposal RFP for the school year for 2024 for the grocery bids. They're due by 10 a.m. on April 2nd, 2024. I'll move.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. 8.6, accepting the donations to the school district.
Oh, so I usually read those. I will make a motion to accept the donations. There is
There is
A lot.
quite a
Okay,
number.
so many.
There is quite a number.
So-
It's a total of $67,614.26,
And
which is,
Uh,
we are entirely grateful.
there's usually a small handful that I list off individually, but I will make a motion to accept all of the donations listed as uploaded and the total being that 67,614.26.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 8.7, discussion on vaping detectors.
So, we have to, can I just start? With what I had? Or no?
Well, we already,
Added it.
we added it to
Yeah,
the agenda, so
okay,
we
so-
can have a
so-
discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been reading and doing some research and stuff and I know Grand Forks has started doing the vape detectors and there's other districts around Minnesota that are doing it. The ones that I've seen have helped dramatically. Within seconds of the detector detecting the vape, text message is sent to the selected admin's phone in that building so they can respond immediately. They roughly cost about $1,000 each. But I did find out that if you use the Halo vape detectors, you can use federal funds, COVID dollars, because there was a $440 million Juul lawsuit. And so all that money was set aside, put in federal funds for COVID, for air quality and things like that. So the Halo vape detector could be bought with COVID money because it also not only detects vape, it also detects THC, and it monitors the air quality in that area. Along with that, the two detectors that I looked at, the Halo and the FlySense, they also detect aggression. So if there's loud noises, the keyword being help, it also notifies the administration of things that are going on in the bathroom. So if there's a lot of fights in the bathroom or bullying or things that are taking place in bathrooms, you can have the vape detectors also notify you of things like that. So they're not just a vape detector, they don't have, they don't record anything. There's no cameras or anything in there as well, but they do have certain settings that you can have in them so that you know what's happening if there's issues in the bathroom, things like that. Yeah. I know Zumbrota Mazeppa has been using them this school year and they've had a lot of success with it. There was an article in the Washington Examiner, and it stated that in California, it actually worked too well. Administrators' phones were going off constantly, but it did help deter a lot of things. I just was thinking, I know the cost is a lot if we didn't use, COVID dollars or even if we did, but it is something I think that we should consider, or at least maybe pilot in a bathroom at the middle school and a bathroom at the high school just to see. I'm not exactly sure how it would work. I haven't gotten that far in the thought process. I just did a lot of learning about them.
So I guess I have a question for Brian and
Yeah.
Jill then. What is your thought on that?
We had one last year at some point, we tried one, we were caught it. Trial it. Put it in one of our boys out of that, came with a camera, because otherwise, you know, you need a camera obviously facing the bathroom so you know who's coming out. So, that one was $2,500. I'm assuming that the camera can be, our bathrooms are close enough so that you put, you know, a detector, the boys have detector to go by the camera outside the boys to go that way. Had all the stuff that you said, Amanda, with the noise and the air quality and blah, 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 all the other stuff. Did it work effectively? Mixed results. And I say that because if it happened between the hours where there was one or two people that came out of the bathroom, that was pretty easy to just figure out, okay, it's here, it's Josh, or the ones that got it checked because they came out and showed it. But if it's between, where it's like, on break, where 15 people can go in the bathroom at the same time, now you gotta check 15 people. And finding out where they are, in that short amount of time before they dump it, or they bring it to their car quick, or whatever. It was sneaky. Right. Yeah, so that was a little bit harder, because Bruce and I both had it on our phone, we got an email, we got a text saying that we moved back to the bathroom over there by the school. Yeah, we ran over there and, you know, looked at, first of all, we ran, checked the camera. Okay, we gotta check Jake, we gotta check Julie, we gotta go find them, where are they? Gotta find them what hours they're in it, move up to the next class, and then, so we did find a few. But then, again, if it was those who were checking, we checked Jake and checked back and checked him and nothing. Now that's, you know, now it's not helpful. So, that's why I say mixed results. And then, said we got multiple bathrooms, we probably 12 or 14 by the time we did it all. And we look at that.
Plus locker rooms.
Plus locker rooms.
You know, our kids are pretty sharp, a lot of them. They'll do it, they'll take it in the car and do it when they have lunch or they whatever. So, I'm not naive enough to say that it's ever happening in our bathroom. Hard to catch them. You know, you have that detector that says, here it is, it happened.
Why did you stop?
We just had
It was a
for
trial.
class.
As a trial.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we didn't buy it actually. Sorry, forgot about that. But, yeah, I mean, are they nice? Yeah, are they 100% foolproof or ineffective?
Yeah.
But I also see, you know, if you have that problem, if you have it in 14 bathrooms and all of a sudden you're getting a list now of this happening 3-4 times in between classrooms, now you're just running around finding kids and you might not find anything all day. You could be. Yeah.
Send them like a little video clip, but to be effective, you almost need 2 per bathroom because of the size of the bathroom.
Mhm. Right,
It's up there, then they're like, well, don't go down that way. guys."
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have to have some sort of a notification that there's a detector in the bath? Like, is there
A
anything we would have to?
disclaimer, like a
Yeah,
legal
like,
disclaimer?
Would is there anything like that?
But it-
Not a, no.
Yeah,
The bath-
No.
The cameras outside.
Cameras
No.
outside.
Cameras outside.
Right,
Yeah.
They know it. They're-
so they'll learn which ones have it
Yeah.
and then go
Yeah.
to different ones.
You almost need to have them all or not.
All or
All or
none,
nothing.
but
yeah,
We put it in that one because that's the one that goes.
notorious,
55 bathrooms. For the gas.
sure.
Saw that like. You know, like the.
It's a smart.
oh yeah,
That is, what's not, find that. Figure it out.
Weird.
So
How about, like disturbances and like incidences in the bathrooms? Are you seeing a lot of that, with the help and the fighting and the bullying and stuff? Are you responding to a lot of those situations?
Fighting, not so much.
Okay,
They know, and then, they know again that they're automatically get police and police.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know if
Street fight.
they could, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it, I mean, hey, you guys can come up with
Mhm.
$75,000. I'd be all in on it, but
I don't know that we,
again. First, we take it around a lot of people.
Yeah. Mhm. Jill, did you have thoughts?
our principal groups have a number of times throughout next week, said, hey, what about this, what about this, and then we can do it. And most of the responses have been here. The mix would be part of it. Many school districts have this, and this is appropriate, my feeling is either open the doors to the bathroom, and remember, if you're in the bathroom, you're gonna turn left, and you're gonna go back into the bathroom. That has deterred a lot of activities in bathrooms overall. I think staff awareness has deterred activity. And our communication and our education for our sixth graders here was to let them know about this.
Mhm.
Have them understand the spectrum. And we also communicate different messages as well, to follow that up, because we know that education goes on. And we also recognize too that at the middle school level, there's a lot of different exposures that happen. This is a developmental thing, there's more experimentation, there's even more opportunity, and we have friends that are older, so we have access, and so giving them the awareness of how to we have some professional development opportunities that are coming up for staff so that they have awareness more around the stuff. We've partnered with full-time public health for that. We've done a nice job leading those sessions for our elementary, for our sixth graders to know these things. One thing that is kind of technology, right? One thing that Brian and I were just about recently is safety detector
Lawns, yeah.
So this would be of interest, I think, maybe more so than what we're talking about for bathrooms, is because when we're alerted to a situation, now we have to have an investigation, and we do 10 in the morning, and we follow those procedures. But it's rare to find a vape on a student. It is also rare that a student would be honest right away.
What?
With sharing that they actually have them.
Yeah.
So a wand would help with that process, and it would also take away from that.
Essentially, it's a metal detector, what I'm getting, and it's basically like you see it at the airports.
Yeah,
Yep,
but you could literally carry it down the hallway.
yeah, and you would cut down on your number of units.
Walk in, everybody knows, like, do the same thing. It would go off on my pocket because I have keys in there, so that we, but again, okay, don't be the key, what else you got? So, I looked at it a little bit when we were at our first meeting, and they made me sign up for something that wasn't that much, but they really didn't tell me exactly how much it cost. But it's big, the sense of like, a wand probably about like that long.
But
Metal.
Yeah.
But in that case, you would cut down on the number of units that you needed.
Yeah.
First.
That would, who could look in, would Ron be the right person to look into something like that?
The wands or the
The
detectors?
wands.
Yeah, we could look into it. Yep.
I would, I would,
We were looking, I was checking legality wise too, if I could random and going.
Right.
Wand or chill.
Right. Do you need suspect? Yeah,
Yeah, you need cause, I mean, just,
you need, yeah,
But I can't just randomly go.
No.
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 it's gotta be reasonable cause.
reasonable cause.
Yeah.
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 You'd have to do it, a consistent period, like
Yeah,
every time they come in from lunch, just,
Gotta have some sort
Yeah.
of pause. You know, our level of pause is much different than police.
Correct.
We just have to hear from somebody or a staff member or something that says, hey, I think that this person is.
Yep.
Bring them down. Search them. Or, yeah.
interesting.
Interesting.
So could we look into two things, that the wand?
Okay.
And can we look into the use of COVID funds, although I think we have most of our ESSERs planned,
Yeah, we
but
could do, yep.
could we at least look into what that
Sure.
was
Yep.
for us? Okay. Any other questions or discussion on vaping?
No, thank you for the information.
Should actually give an update on this, maybe at the buildings and grounds.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll look more into that wand and see what it costs.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
This is fairly new
Mhm.
in technology.
Put out by somebody was, are they legal?
Sure.
I have to,
Sure.
or, you know,
Yeah.
does anybody else?
Yeah. I got a couple districts that I'm almost positive are using them. I can double check with.
I know there's some too, cause I was in a couple of them already this year that we went to for basketball and they have them right on the doors. There's a big sign that says there's vape detectors in our bathrooms.
Okay.
And that would not be the same. So people who have, like, not, obviously not our district, but metal detectors, when you go into the schools, like that would detect vape then every time?
I'm guessing, but
I'm just not sure.
I'll do something with color.
And see them.
I think the important piece is that, and I think that, you know, both of our principals mentioned that, there's a number of different pieces of the pie here.
Mhm.
You know, it's just not enforcement. I mean, the education is gonna be huge.
Huge.
You know, and just maybe having some classes, cessation classes for those that have been repeat offenders. You know, just getting that, you know, that climate built, the culture built of, you know, being accountable and responsible as a student. You know, the Minnesota State High School League violations is part of this too, and making sure people are aware of that. Parents, you know, so there's a lot of different prongs to this, but I think that enforcement certainly has its place.
All right. Thank you for that discussion. Moving on to 9.0, payment of claims and accounts.
I'll move to approve the payment of K-12 bills numbers 126361 through 126501 and electronic fund transfers in the amount of $828,889.98.
Of second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 10.0, board member comments. Eric, we'll start with you.
Yeah, good discussion tonight. The only other comment I had was just the donations. It was phenomenal to see that level. Thank you to all those that donated and, very, very much appreciated.
Thank you to those donations. It's a big donation for us. So that's all I got as well tonight.
Yeah, same. I usually really like to list them off and say what they're going for and pay that recognition, but the list is extremely long today and we're very grateful and hopefully, you know, we'll get these funds to some good use and it's exciting to see that amount of donations coming in.
Amanda?
I have questions more or less. I know our strategic plan is up. Are we working on that? Do we have a plan on that? Is there a committee for that?
So yeah, so we need to take a look at, you know, either updating that or, you know, starting over. I mean, so I think that it's something, it's a good conversation we should probably start having, because I think it's set to expire at the end of the school year,
Yep.
so. Yeah, absolutely. Board wants to give me any direction on that, I'd be happy to initiate that. and
Okay,
Start thinking about it.
perfect. And then, I know it was discussed back in December, the district advisory. committee, has a meeting been set? Is there anything for that? We haven't had a meeting yet this year, and I mean, the school year is halfway over.
So the district leadership, the district leadership team essentially is the district advisory committee now.
Mhm.
And so our first meeting is gonna be the end of February.
So there's parents and student and teachers and everyone,
Yep.
community members there?
Yeah, we get representation from every building, admin from every building. We have, support staff, and then we have, one parent and possibly two
Okay.
will be joining us.
Okay.
And, we'll, take recommendations or develop them in that committee and then hopefully bring them to the school board and then hopefully they're refined and ready to go for you guys and we can move it forward.
And how were the, like, the parents or the community members chosen? Like, were they picked out of a hat? How was that done?
I went to, Miss Modine,
Mhm.
and I asked her for suggestions and
Mhm.
I think the admin may have pointed me in that direction. And so I talked to her and I said, you know, a couple of parents that would be good for our committee and
Mhm.
she thought she did and so she contacted them and I know she had a commitment for one and she was waiting on the other one.
Okay.
I think that, I'm certainly open for adding other people. If people really want to be on the committee, we could.
Well, I was just, cause I know like Grand Forks, they're just right across the river. It's easy to use them as an example.
Yep.
A lot of theirs are open to the public. They'll post it. Like, one of the schools constantly has a poster on the door. Please come to the district advisory committee. We want to hear your input. So that they can get as many people there as possible. I know in the past, the committee has had some participation, but not a lot. So I was just wondering how it was chosen, who got to be there. And
Well-
did parents know that they could even opt in to do this?
No, but I think that you hit on a good point. I think it's something that we should consider is, you know, maybe once, twice a year, inviting the community in
Mhm.
for input. You know, I'd be happy to try to put something together for that. I think that's really important to do that.
Yeah, 'cause
Even
I
if
mean,
it's
if
not
you
the
have
leadership
your
team.
few selected people, I mean.
Yep.
Does that really represent the entire community,
I get it.
especially if they're handpicked?
Yep.
And then my last thing is, if anyone in the public, whoever watches the meetings or anything like that, has any concerns that they feel aren't being addressed, please come to a meeting and make sure you follow the procedures for speaking and follow those through. But if anybody has anything to say, we have plenty of seats available, for people to discuss their concerns within our district. And thanks for donations. That's what I got.
And just to second that, that you said it, but there is a procedure to follow if you do want to speak at a meeting, so make sure you're following that. I'm just gonna read off the people real quick, because there's a big group, so these are the people who made donations: is Darcy's Cafe, Deek's Pizza, Healthy Ventures, Texas Roadhouse, an anonymous donor, EGF Booster Club, Avid Exchange, Community Foundation, Red River Runners, Dakota Airy 350, Casual for a Cause, Caulfield Studio, EGF Education Foundation, Kevin and Carrie Joik. Is that how you say that? I don't even know. Okay. And then Polk County, Reading for Education, Alex and Tiana Headland, Joyce Zach. I think I mentioned the Booster Club, and then Trans Systems. So thank you to all of them for the donations. We are forever grateful. Big donations, so thank you. That's all I have for tonight as well. So, what?
Say the next one, the next board meeting.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. 11.0, the next meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for February 26th, 2024 at 5:30. And 12.0 is to adjourn the regular meeting. Take a motion.
So.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you.